She held my hand and she bent down and talked to me. And I squeezed her hand and I opened my eyes. And I remember looking and seeing the tears running down her face. And I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to tell her it was okay. Everything was fine. I'm all right. And I've got something to tell you, but I couldn't talk. I had this tube down my throat and I wanted to say something and I couldn't. But that was the last thing I remember for a day or so. Well, for that night anyway.
What is it that you want to tell her?
I wanted to tell her that I'd been on the other side. And I remember being on the right path, heading towards a beautiful white light. I remember the peace and tranquility, and that doesn't even do it justice. There's no words to describe it. It was just the most beautiful thing in the world. It was beautiful. And I had no fear at all. I knew I was dead. I had conscious thoughts. I knew when I passed away. And I was cool with it. It was like, yeah. And as I traveled along this white path, and I knew things. And I didn't know how I knew, but I just knew. It was like somebody was whispering to me or something. And as I got to the light, I came to a stop. I could feel something stop me. And that's when God spoke to me. And he told me that I could come into the light and spend eternity with him, or I could go back and finish the work that hasn't been finished yet. And I thought about Alice. I thought about the last thing I said to her. And what I said was that, they do this operation all the time. I'll be home before you know it. And it was at that point I decided to come back. God gave me a choice to go to heaven or come back. And I think I made the right decision, and he helped me make that decision in a way. I didn't see anybody.
That's interesting. Very often people say they've seen people who have passed before them.
Yeah, and that bothered me. I didn't understand it. Why didn't I see my grandmother, who I was extremely close to? I knew that they were there.
Yeah.
But I didn't see anybody. I didn't see angels. I didn't hear music. I was feeling a little kind of gypped, But he made it clear later on. He's a God of free will, and this was a decision that I had to make. He could have said, "You're going back," which he could have done, but he didn't. He wanted me to make that decision. Because there's an important message to get out. There's other things to do. I don't know what it is yet. He'll reveal it when it's time. But
excuse me for interrupting, but if you had seen your grandmother, would that have changed?
Absolutely. I would have went. I would have gone. I would have went straight through the light. I was there when she passed away. I was in the room with her. She, asked for me, when she was on her deathbed. And I was clear across country, and I hopped on a plane, and she waited for me. I was convinced of that. And I was there with her for a day. And she slipped away. But yeah, to answer your question, I would have gone.
Would have gone.